Hello, hello, people, good people. Hello. Welcome back to another car conversation, another episode of Make America Think Again. If you are on iTunes, Spotify, or any of the other places, SoundCloud, any of the other places where my podcast is carried, welcome to you as well. I want to talk about um, Amber Nicole Thurman. Actually, what I want to talk about really is people calling themselves pro-life when you aren't actually about pro-life. You aren't about that life. You really aren't. And I'm going to break down why. So I'm going to start with the backstory with Amber Nicole Thurman. Forgive me, Amber Nicole Thurman. So the backstory, she lives in Georgia, along with another mother who recently lost her life, Candy Miller. Live in Georgia. Georgia has the backward ass, archaic, from, I don't know, 1800s abortion law has been implemented in that state. Okay. So she has to leave the state to go actually have an abortion. Comes back, mothering, getting ready to go to school, nursing school, or I believe she was a PA, physician's assistant. And she's also already a mother of a 6-year-old child, 6-year-old son, doing her thing. And then she gets ill, goes into the doctor, finds out that the abortion that she had out of state was not fully complete. And she was in sepsis. She had an infection. In the state of Georgia, she was denied care, denied the completion of that abortion because of Georgia's laws. And doctors, because they feared in the state of Georgia that they would be sent to prison if they treated her, made her wait in pain and agony and suffering for 20 hours. 20 hours before they attempted to treat her, but it was too late. Her organs had already started shutting down. I posted this information and someone commented that, well, what about the baby? Do you mean the embryo that she aborted? Because when you come to me or come at me with, what about the baby? I think about the 6-year-old who now no longer has a mother. The child that's actually here is my concern. So if you call yourself pro-life, you have to be concerned about the mother's life. If you want to call yourself pro-life, you have to be concerned about the life of the existing child that is now orphaned. How's that child going to be raised? Who's going to take care of that child? Who's going to financially support that child? Because that child is here. That child is here and now orphaned. You people were against the child tax credit, even though you accepted it. You took it if you have children. You received it and you took it with no complaints. But when Republicans refused to renew it, you had no problems with that, because that's a handout. That's a handout. Even though it pulled so many children out of poverty, the children that you claim to care about, you were in favor of the government getting rid of that child tax credit. That's not very pro-life to me. You're against universal pre-K. You're in favor of taking money away from public schools and filtering it into private schools, where or to the parents that actually already have money to send their kids to these private schools. You're talking about, and you're in favor of filtering money out of the public schools that need so much more money than they receive ever. I worked in two. I've seen it firsthand. But you're in favor of that. So you cannot convince me that you care about the kids. when you're in favor of taking money away from things that would support the well-being and the education of children. You can't be pro-life and support those things. You cannot be pro-life if you are not concerned about the fact that mothers are not only dying, but because of the lack of reproductive care, there are several mothers who want more children, but because of having a miscarriage, for example, and because they can't get properly treated for a miscarriage, their entire reproductive system is being messed up. So some, after receiving botched procedures or the lack thereof, they can't have children moving forward. And you also can't say you're pro-life if you support Republicans continuously trying to get rid of IVF. These are families and women who want children, and you're snatching the opportunity away from them. So these deaths are predictable and preventable. All the money that I just talked about to support children, you don't want children to have. And if you don't care about Nicole's existing child, the 6-year-old who no longer has a parent, no longer has a mother, and Candy Miller's children who are already here, who are also orphaned, no longer have a mother. If you don't care about those children, and if you don't care about those mothers, the lives of those mothers that were lost, then miss me with all the pro-life talk. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit as far as I'm concerned. And lastly, I want to say this last thing. Abortion after birth would be murder. That's a murder. That's what that's called. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's getting away with that. So stop that bullshit too.